At this point, I'm very sure everyone watching this video is already familiar with the International English Language Testing System examination, also known as the famous Ielts. I decided not to make any video concerning Ielts for a very long time, except for the NMC update on the changes that they are working on making. But I've got questions coming in, not even recently, for a very long time, and what I've been doing so far is explaining to every individual that has come to ask me, each person, on the tips that I have to share concerning how to ace your IELTS at one sitting. So I decided, okay, why not? Why keep explaining to each and every person what they need to know to help them pass their IELTS? Why not just come here and, share to the general public so that people can also learn as well? And that's why I decided to make this video sharing tips for each section of the IELTS that can help you actually ace your IELTS at one sitting. Now, if this is what you'd be interested in watching, if you're interested in what I have to share in this video, then I advise that you stay till the end of this video and not miss any part, because I'll be sharing very vital information all through. Now, let's get right into it. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now, if you're just seeing my face for the first time, then it means that you are new here. Welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video out of the numerous amount of videos that you sought to click on, and I do hope that you get motivated to press the subscribe button before you opt out of this video. But I would advise that you don't opt out of this video, because I know that there's a reason why you clicked on it, and I know you will get your answers before you leave. And to my returning subscribers, you guys are my real MVPs. Thank you guys so much for the support and love so far. It's been really massive, okay? And I know that I've probably not been giving you guys everything that you want on this channel, but just give your girl time. I'm working on it. Okay, let's just go into what we have for today. As I told you already from the intro, I'm going to be sharing tips that I feel will be very useful to those that are still struggling with passing their IELTS exam. And permit me guys, because I've made a list of notes, okay, and I'll be looking away. If I'm looking away, just know that I'm trying to pick out things, because I don't want to miss out any important information that I want to share. I purposely wrote down everything like this from my head, okay? That's why I had to put it down, so that I don't miss out anything that I want to share today, because everything is going to be very important. There were things that helped me, and I didn't go to Google or YouTube to get these tips. There were things that I used that helped me during my own time when I was preparing for my IELTS. I'll be sharing a quick story time. Honestly, when I was preparing for my IELTS, I had the fear, okay, because I had heard about IELTS, how scary it was, how difficult, how people used to fail, how people have written it for 7-8 times. I wasn't really encouraged. I started my IELTS preparation from like 2018. I think that was when I was going for my internship. I kept saying, oh, before I finished my internship, I was going to write the IELTS, and I just kept lingering it from there. And then I finished internship and went for service, and I kept saying, oh, I was going to write it, but at the end of the day, I kept postponing it. But one day my mom just came up and she called me on the phone and was like, I have an opportunity for you somewhere in Canada at the time, and they need you to write your IELTS, blah blah. I think it was just God that wanted me to write it at that time, because at the end of the day, that stuff she wanted me to do did not even require an IELTS. But yeah, because of that, it's really spoiled me, and she made it look like it was time bound, so I had to like really rush to do the exam. Now, I know that many people go with buying loads of materials and things to help them prepare for the IELTS. They pay a lot of money, which is fine. I mean, whatever works for you is actually fine. If you feel like you have to like do loads of tutorials and buy loads of materials for you to be able to pass your IELTS, that's fine. But because I had very short and limited time, I was almost tempted to go and pay for these things. But I already booked my exam even before I started preparing, because I felt like, oh, it was going to give me the courage to read up for the exam, okay? Which actually helped, because I was like, after spending this amount of money, I cannot afford to spend that amount of money again. So guys, if you think it will work for you, or if you did something similar to what I did, which was booking for my exam even before I started preparing, let me know in the comment section. Or you can even apply this. It will give you the morale, because when you think of the money that you have wasted, you would not want to just be snoozing. You'd want to put in much more effort to read for the exam. Now, that's just my own story of how I was able to like prepare, and what led to me even writing my IELTS finally after postponing and procrastinating. Now I prepared for my IELTS in less than a month. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be very honest, because I said it all happened like it was impromptu. I used like less than a month to prepare for the IELTS. So yes, it's very, very possible to prepare for your IELTS with at least a month if you are very serious about it. Trust me, you can do it. I'm not even kidding you. You can do it. You just need to be very, very motivated. And I tell people that the IELTS is not just all about reading. You can read a load of materials, practice with the Cambridge past questions or whatever, and still go and fail the IELTS exam. The IELTS is not, it's about preparing, it's about reading, but at the same time, you need to know the tips and the tricks of IELTS. The tips and the tricks for me cover 80%, and then your practice and practice and practice covers 20. Because if you know the tips and the tricks, then you are able to, it's more like you have studied like a lot of past questions when you know the tips and the tricks. Okay, to be very, very honest, the first time I knew what an actual reading structure in the IELTS looked like was on the exam day. Guys, you won't believe it. I opened my IELTS reading, and the first thing in the whole quiet hall, the first thing that I shouted was Jesus. I'm not even joking. I'm not making up any stories here, because that was the first time I was seeing the actual reading structure for the IELTS exam. I was using other things to practice, and I was getting 8 over 10, 10 over 10, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a boss. But then I got to the exam and I realized that, oh my god, like these were newspaper article kind of, questions or passages that were given for the exam, and all I'd been practicing with were just mere passages and stuff. So yes, when you are practicing, make sure that you are using the actual IELTS materials to practice. The ones that give you IELTS reading passages are not straightforward passages. So if you're using any past question currently that has like very easy reading passages that you just read, Simbi goes to school, Ali goes to school, you are using the wrong one. Newspaper articles are what the IELTS reading looks like. Okay, so yes, but the fact that I still managed to come up with a 7 for my reading was because I had the tips and tricks. If not, I would have failed that exam, because I didn't practice the IELTS reading because I was using wrong passages to practice, if you get what I'm trying to say. So yes, that's why I said the IELTS is mostly about the tips and the tricks rather than just practicing loads of questions, because when you go there, you still find out that you are seeing different questions that you are going to actually solve. So even if you practice 1 million questions, you will still not pass the exam. You will not pass. Okay, but if you know the tips and tricks, whatever questions you are faced with in the exam, then you will be able to ace it. Now, having said this, I'm going to go into giving you the tips for each of these sections. Now, let me start by telling you my own IELTS score. Yes, I said it was, an impromptu preparation, prepared in less than a month, and I was able to get 6.5 in my writing. I was able to get, I think, 7.5 or 8 in my speaking, and for the other sections, I got a 7. Okay, so I came out the band score of 7 or 7.5, right? So yes, it wasn't like 9 over 9 or whatever, but I was able to get that in one sitting with the very short preparation that I made. And you can also do it. You can also get that band score that you want if you just take some of these tips and tricks that I will share. And of course, I'm not going to be able to list out everything here, but I will do as much as possible to cover the most important things that actually helped me. And if you've written your IELTS and you've passed as well, also help everybody in the comment section. Okay, we are all here to learn. Let us know what tips worked for you as well, because no one is an island of knowledge. Okay, I'm going to start with speaking. People like me that I'm a lot better now. I know people see me like I'm doing YouTube and they're like, oh my gosh, she's so bold and stuff. It did not start like this. I used to be very, very timid. I'm not even kidding. Okay, even my parents are still surprised the way I'm doing this whole YouTube thing. So for me, speaking was quite a very, very big challenge. It was a very, very big challenge for me, because I was like, I am someone that would rather right from now till the end of the time to coming to talk to you, because if you ask me my name, I might not even be able to remember my name immediately. That's kind of person that I am. I hate oral. I hate oral questioning. Even when I was doing my nursing council and had to do the Viva, it was really a challenge for me. But I thank God for everything. So yeah, speaking was quite a challenge to me, because like I said, I was usually this very timid person, and I didn't just like anything oral. So I think the first thing, do what works for you. Okay, me, I don't believe I can do anything without the help of God. So first thing I did was pray to God. Like, I asked him for the courage. I'm not joking. I asked God for the courage. I asked God to help me with an examiner that would even make the environment very comfortable for me in the first place. And it worked like magic. I'm not going to share that story with you. That's a personal thing. First thing you want to do is try to be bold and confident. I know you've heard this from a lot of people, but it cannot be overemphasized. You need to be bold and confident, because it's all about seeing how you can communicate fluently in English. Because if you are leaving your country of origin to an English speaking country, you want to make sure that you can communicate very well in English, no matter the sector you are going to, whether it's the healthcare sector or even if you're going to study, because communication is very, very key and very vital in life generally. So they need to be sure that you can communicate fluently in English. Nobody's asking you to be Professor Wale Soyinka, but they want to make sure that you can have a one-on-one conversation with someone and they'll be able to understand you, and you'll be able to understand them as well. So that's what speaking is just all about. Okay, they're not trying to fail you, they're just to be sure that you can communicate fluently. So yes, you have to be very bold and confident. Nobody wants to bring in a timid person to their country, so you have to try to pose. Even if you are not, it's just 15 minutes. I think speaking just takes 15 minutes, so you just have to try for that 15 minutes to be very bold and confident. Okay, sometimes depending on how yours goes, you might not even take up to 15 minutes. I don't think I stayed up to 15 minutes. I was done. So you just have to try your best to be as confident as you can be. Okay, maintain eye contact with your examiner. Whoever is questioning you, make sure you maintain eye contact with them. And know that this is a recorded session. Okay, all the parts of the exams are usually recorded. You might not even see the camera where it is, but trust me, it's recorded. Okay, so that in case there's any problem, they can always replay it to get where the problem was from. Be bold and confident. That's the first thing that I would say. And it always helps when you arrive at least 30 minutes to your exam time. Okay, so this IELTS, I know people call it exam, but in my own time, I said no, I will not see this one as an exam, because most times when we put this clause exam on, it makes it very complex for people. Okay, it makes it look very scary. So I rather just refer to it as a test. It helps me feel more relaxed. So yes, arrive at least 30 minutes to your test time. Okay, it helps you study the environment. Like I said, it works differently for people, but for me, if I'm going to have any exam at all, I like to go to the exam venue. I'm telling you, 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes to my time, because if I get acclimatized with the environment, there's something it does to me. It gives me this calmness inside, because I feel like, okay, I know this environment. It's not strange to me. So I feel calmer and relaxed. So try and go very early. It helps you even sort out through your documents so that you don't go late and then they are saying, oh, you have to come and do some registration processes, and then you're running up and down. Before you get to the venue for the test, you're already, something else. You're so unsettled, you're so scattered and haggard, and it doesn't even create a good impression at all. Then, needless for me to say, you need to be smart. Appear smart. Okay, you're not going to teach, so you are not supposed to go with slippers or whatever. Okay, yes, it's speaking exam, but of course your appearance counts, because that's the first thing that your examiner sees while you are walking in. And as they say, you are addressed how you are dressed. So please, when you are going for this exam, dress well. It's not even among what I wrote down, but please dress well when you're going for this exam. Okay, wear a corporate dressing. 15 minutes, you will not die. Okay, if you have to wear a tie, wear a tie. Just look very smart, look very comported. It's not a must you wear tie. Don't quote me. I'm just saying, look smart, look confident. It helps with your confidence as well when you are dressed very, very well. Now, the next thing is, know how to use your articles. I know that it's not everybody that has the privilege of speaking good English and stuff, but you can actually practice these things. There are materials to help you online. YouTube is your go-to area for anything you want. Articles, well, you have A and D. There are people that don't know how to use these words from each other. Okay, a boy, an egg. Some people call it a egg, and table, the table. You have to know when to use A and D. Okay, so if it's someone that you don't know, you are more likely to use, oh, a boy, a man came here, when you don't really know the person or the thing you're talking about. But if it's someone that you are familiar with, so you're going to be like, oh, the man came here, oh, the boy came to bring the item. Okay, so do you understand? So you have to know the differences between how to use this, because it helps you when you are communicating and conversing with your examiner. Another thing is, you have to know how to use your prepositions very well. So you have to know when you're using in, on, under, before, between. You have to know how to use all those things very, very well. if you've not heard about all these things I'm saying before, you can always go online and read. Know all these things that you have to, know how to use your adjectives, your pronouns, your nouns, and all these other things. Know how to use your, well, I will not even start saying simile or metaphor. It helps when you know all these things, right? But don't kill yourself. Just speak the normal English you know how to speak. As long as you're communicating fluently, you are good to go. Now, the next thing I would say is see it like a test, not an exam. For the speaking, see it as if you're having a conversation with your friend. That was what I did, and it worked for me. Okay, so you always talk to your friends on a daily. You see your guy, you're like, hey guy, how far? Guy, how you doing? Oh girl, what's up? Babe, what's up? How are you today? So you always converse, you always gist, you gossip with your friends. So see it like that, because that's just how this pattern is going to go. Because like I said, it's all about seeing how you can communicate in English. And this is something that you do every day. I had to tell myself, because I was getting really worked up and tense. I told myself, I'm like, but I talk in English every day. I discuss with my friends in English. Okay, I know most times we use vernacular, but most of the time we communicate in English. So I'm like, why am I saying this as a big deal? For Christ's sake. Okay, so it helps when you see it like, oh, you're talking with your friend. But now you have to know that this person, yes, you are picturing like you're talking to your friend, but at the same time, this is a more structured exam. So when you would use guy, how far, you have to use something like, how are you doing? Okay, so you're not speaking vernacular or whatever, but you are just, let's just be like you're gisting with your friend. You're just talking with your friend. Your friend is asking you questions about an event or an occurrence in your life, or a favorite artist of yours. Tell me about your favorite artist of yours. Just let it look as if it's your friend that's asking you this question, and you're just talking freely with them. It helps when you actually have that mental picture. This exam most times, especially with the speaking, has to do with mental picture. What you tell yourself, how you picture the test in your head, will really work for you. It worked for me, and that's what I'm coming to share with you guys today. So don't give one worded answer. The whole point is knowing how you can communicate very well in English. So nobody would be expecting that you will be dropping one line of answer. Okay, you're not going to be saying if they say, how are you today? Oh, I'm fine. No. How are you today? Doing great. And you? How are you as well? Just don't make it, nobody's asking you for a long line of story, but don't just say, oh, I'm fine. What is your favorite color? Oh, my favorite color is red, and this is because red signifies power to me. Red signifies love to me. Red signifies danger, which for me is a good thing, because just try and say something. Let your answers make like at least 2 sentences. Okay, not very long sentences, because of course it's time bound, but make sure that you're not just dropping one line answers. When they say what's your favorite color, don't just say, oh, red. Quiet. No. Why red is your favorite color? Okay, give reasons and just hold it there. All right, and make sure you're not diverting from the questions, because they have criteria on how they mark you. Okay, you're answering the question, they mark you according to your coherence, your understanding. So if they ask you A and you start answering, and the next thing you divert to C, that's a problem. You're going to lose the points for coherence. This one that I want to say is it gets to, I think, the third section, where in the speaking, I think they have 3 parts. The first part, just general questions. Second part, similarly to general questions. And I think the third part, they ask you something more specific. Now, this can be anything. They can even tell you, talk about a time where you received a favorite gift from a person. Okay, so usually I think you have to talk for 2 minutes after then. So they give you a cue card that has the question on it, and then they give you like a pencil and a paper. So they're not giving you this pencil and paper so that you would start writing down all the stories. No, you're speaking, you're going to talk. So what you do with that 1 minute is to just write out your points. Okay, so they give you 1 minute. That 1 minute would look like 10 seconds if you're not careful. So that's not the time for you to start penning down every single thing that you're supposed to know. You start penning down points. So for instance, if they say, talk about a time, tell me about a time when you received a gift that you loved so much from a friend. I'm giving 1 minute to pen down my points. Let me tell you how I would do it. That pencil and paper that they have given me, what I'm going to do is, 1, I would write what this item was in that paper. What? Okay, so you have 2 minutes. Remember, you have 2 minutes. After that 1 minute they give you to just jot down your ideas, the next 2 minutes will be where you would explain yourself and talk at length. Now, you said 2 minutes is very short, but I promise you that 2 minutes would look like 5 minutes if you're not careful. Yes, but trust me, if you use these points that I'm going to list out right now, you will find out that you would have more to say when the time comes. Like I was talking, that my examiner told me, oh, your 2 minutes is over now, it's fine, it's okay, you can stop talking. But if you don't do it like this, you'll be lost for ideas. You will not know what to say, and you will just keep talking and talking and talking. For me, for that section, what I will do, that 1 minute I have, I would put what, okay, when, where, who, the event or the gift, and my reaction. Okay, so tell me about a time that a friend gave you a gift that you really loved. The first thing is, what was the gift? The time I received a gift from my friend, this is just an example. I'm just trying to just piece ideas together, but you can do your own thing. I've gotten several gifts from my friends in the past, during my birthdays, during just outings, game nights, and a lot of other fun events. But there was a particular gift I received from a friend of mine, and this was in the year 2020, and this gift was a beautiful teddy bear. For example, if you are timing me, you see that time has started going, and this gift was a beautiful teddy bear colored white with red lines on the body. Now, the next question, when? I've already stated when. It was in 2020. Now, where? So, it was gifted to me at the park. It was actually a surprise from my friend. My friend asked me to come out to the park, that she wanted us to go for an outing and just grab lunch. And it was actually, the next day was supposed to be my birthday. This is just an instance, it never even happened, but you can see the next day was just my birthday, and she asked me out for lunch. And then getting there, we had lunch, we had a very good time, we played some games, and as we were about to head out, she brought out this beautiful teddy bear that I have never seen such beautiful teddy bear in a very, very long time, and no one has ever gifted me something like this before. She brought this teddy bear out, and I was really mesmerized. Don't say wowed, I was mesmerized is a better English, and I was mesmerized. I didn't expect it, because I'm not someone that receives a lot of gifts from people, despite the fact that I have received gifts, but it doesn't really occur to people to give me gifts, and I don't know why. But I really felt so appreciative of this gift, because at the time, I am someone that doesn't really like to sleep alone. I like to cuddle on things, and I recently had a teddy bear which at this point was quite old, and I needed a new one at the time, and my friend really thought about this. I don't know how she came about it, but she really was very thoughtful to have given me this at the time, because I really loved it, and it was really fluffy. It was so beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and it meant a whole lot to me on how thoughtful my friend was. I'm telling you, 2 minutes has passed long ago. So you see what I did. So I've even talked about the event and the reaction. You see, this never happened to me. I just coined it. I use this because there will be times when they would tell you to talk about something that you don't even know about. Okay, you might be asked to talk about something totally different that you've not even heard of before, or something that you are not even a fan of. Like, I think I was asked to talk about, I think for me now that doesn't like sports, they might ask me to tell them about my favorite sports player or my favorite football team. I don't like football, so what would I have to say? So you don't have to say I don't know, right? Two things you can do. You can either coin up something like I have, okay? Just coin up something like I have. Use this what, when, where, who, the event, your reaction, or it might not be something that has to do with your reaction anyways. Always look for how to use these points to coin up your answers, and it really helps. That's what helped me in my own time. As you can see, I've given you an example, even though it's not well articulated, because I'm just making it up as I'm talking to you guys now. So yes, that worked for me, and it could actually work for you. Okay, so make sure you try to implement this, and tell me if it works for you later on, even after you've watched this video and you've gone for your Ielts. If you use this tip and it worked for you, let me know in the comment section. You can always come back and let me know in the comment section. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is smile. It's not the end of the world. Nobody's killing you. Okay, like I said, Act like you're conversing with your friend. If you're conversing with your friend, you don't frown or squeeze your face or whatever. So smile, but don't go and start over smiling like you are there for pageantry. No, but make sure you have a warm reception towards your examiner, because all this thing counts. Nobody wants a sadist when you come and you're squeezing face like nobody forced you for the exam, okay? So try to always smile, try to be cheerful, try to, be very warm and receptive as well. And this is where I will stop on speaking. Now, tell me if you found these tips helpful, and tell me if you've written the IELTS and you use some of these tips and they seem familiar to you. Also let me know in the comment section. And when you use these tips and they work for you, also come back. Doesn't matter, even if it's 1 year from now, come back and let me know in the comment section as well. The next section I'll be talking about is the listening, and the listening is about 40 minutes. So you have 30 minutes to pen down your answers, and I think they give you 10 minutes to just go through your answers and read through and stuff. The tips for listening, they're not really much, okay? The first thing I will tell you is to be very, very, very attentive. Before you start the listening exam, they give you a set of headphones, okay, so that it's called like the testing period, okay? So they give you headphones, they give everybody in the hall headphones, and they would play sample recordings for you. This time you're supposed to listen and make sure you can hear clearly, the volume is appropriate, the voices are not distorted, you can hear everything clearly. They do this so that when the exam starts, you're not coming to raise your hand to say, oh, my headphone is not working, or the left ear is working, the right is not working, or stuff like that. So at this point, you are supposed to participate greatly in that exercise, because that part can make or mar your test, okay? That part can make or mar. So if you don't pay attention and try to use your headphones when they give them to you, it helps you to also know the controls, okay, where to increase the volume from and whatever. So if you don't take that time to follow with that exercise, follow through with it, and make sure that you can really hear with your headphones and they are perfect for the test, then that would be your mistake, okay? And please, once you detect that there is a mistake, don't be shy to raise your hand. That is your test, okay? Once you see that there's a problem, if you feel like there's a reason why you're not hearing clearly with the headphones, make sure you speak up, raise your hand up and signify to one of the examiners come up to you to change your headphones. I think I changed mine during my time. Nothing was wrong, but I just wanted to be sure. I just did not want stories. So I changed my headset once and I made sure it was perfect for me and I could hear everything clearly. So yes, that's the first thing you want to know to do. Second thing I would say is avoid any distractions. Please, from the time you are trying out the testing exercise and stuff, once you are done with that, okay, you need your rapt attention, because once the test for the listening starts, it keeps going. It doesn't stop. The only time they stop is after they finish a part and they're going to the next part. Then they read out they tell you to read the instructions. Did during my own time was when they said read the instructions, when they give you a little time to read the instructions. I read the instructions, I read all the questions, okay, the questions, I read them just to make myself familiar when I start hearing the recording. It helps you know when and where you're hearing the recording. It helps you know, oh, this is the answer, this is where. It's always good when you read the instructions and glance, be fast about it. Make sure you read all the questions so that when you're listening to the recording, it helps you detect where that answer should be. Now, another thing I would say for the listening section is please and please and please, if you are not sure when to use small letter and capital letter, because these are the things that would fail you. You see some people come out from the exam hall, when they get their results, they will tell you, oh my god, my listening, I got all the answers. So how come I'm seeing my result and I'm seeing 5.5 in listening? I thought I answered the questions correctly, I heard all the answers. It's probably because you didn't write the words correctly. This is English, so they are particular with everything that you are listing out, the way you are writing it, not just getting the answers correctly now, but the way you're actually writing it. If you're using caps lock where you're supposed to use caps lock, or you're using small letters when you're supposed to use small letters. So to be on the safe side, guys, if you are not sure when to use a small letter and when to use a big letter, make sure you put everything in caps lock. Now, this happened to me in my exam hall. You know, when you are in that whole exam feeling, you get very tensed up. So I finished the whole listening thing, and trust me, I was just really lucky, because I'd finished my 30 minutes, so they are giving us 10 minutes to go through our answers. and I was still contemplating, like, oh, I don't have much time. And I think there are 40 questions or so, I can't remember. And you know, they were almost, they even said get ready to submit. And I did paper based anyways. They were like, get ready to submit. I was contemplating. I'm not sure if I should use capital letter here or small letter. I'm not sure if I should use small letter or capital letter. I was really unsure what I was doing. Guys, I think, I'm not joking, I think I had like 4 minutes left. And no, the devil, you have no space in my life. I started cleaning. Thankfully, you use pencil all through your exam. Okay, they give you the pencil and eraser and whatever you need, writing materials for the exam. So I started cleaning, but I did not clean everything at once. So let's say I cleaned the first 10 answers and I start writing them out. So what I do first, before I clean, because of course I can't remember the answers, so I write them out in capital letter. I wrote all my answers in caps lock. That's what I'm trying to say. So before I clean it out, I'll write it in caps lock by the side and clean the small letters. I did that whole thing till I got to the 40th question. And as I was just finishing up, they said collecting papers. Please, when they say pencils up, please drop your pencils, because if not, you can get disqualified from the exam. That's another thing. Okay, so that was how I did mine. So don't be like me. Okay, if you are unsure when to use capital letter or small letter, please write everything in caps lock. This also applies in your writing. Write everything in caps lock. Although I didn't do my writing in caps lock because I knew what I was doing at then. But for the listening, I wasn't sure, so I wrote everything in caps lock. Okay, so you might not be as lucky as I was to, you know, be very fast in writing. I'm very fast in writing. No jokes. Exactly. So it was very easy for me to do what I did when I did it. But you might not be so lucky. So please, if you feel like you're going to be unsure when to use capital letter and small letter, just write everything in caps lock. And I think this sums up everything that I have to say on listening. Guys, this video has extended already. I don't think I will be making this one video if I'm going to cover everything. I know you guys want to hear every bit and piece of what I have to say, so I'm going to make this video into 2 parts. So I'll put up the first part first, and depending on the amount of views and the likes this video gets, and also your comments, if you tell me that you want to see the part B of this video, then I will be posting the remaining 2 parts of the Ielts to talk about. Okay, so if you want me to continue this video, let me know in the comment section, because this has already taken enough time already than I planned. But I just want you guys to get every detail. Okay, I know that this will really help someone out there. So if you want to see the part B of this video, let me know from your likes, and also let me know in the comment section. Share this video to as many people as possible as well. I know that there are many people that want to write the IELTS, so please share the video to them as well. And if I see the engagement this video has and it's quite promising, I will put up the second part of this video. Okay guys, so I'll see you in the next one, depending on you guys. So like guys, take care.